having NLP. Now, before I finish about this, what NLP is, what's the difference between NLP and psychology? Psychology studies pathology. What went wrong? Why do these people behave like this? What are the psychological disorders that is inhibiting people from performing well? Pathology. NLP respects psychology. They've done all the research. Freud, Carl Jung, and all these people. All the research is done perfect. Everything is there. Don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's study something else. How failures became successful. So NLP, in short, is a study of success. So if you are looking for success, this is a charming model, powerful, packed with processes to take you from where you are to where you want to be and to sustain it. In the next videos, I'll show you the mechanics of how it can be done. See you soon. Thank you. Welcome back. You have realized why we need NLP, why we need to develop ourselves. And knowing what NLP is in gist from the last video, you may have an idea of what's possible. So talking about what's possible as a human being, we come into this world, we fall into a box. Our parents want us to be safe. So, and the government in a country, they want successors. Companies need successors. Teachers retire and new teachers come on board and become principals and so on. So there is a hierarchy and there's a transition and there is a need for new people. And so all this drives us to have a template. So you have to start with junior school and then high school and then university and so forth. And more often than not, we don't realize our own potential because we get pushed into a certain stream of education that someone says is good for us. Nothing wrong with that, because mainstream education keeps us safe. Our parents want us to be able to fend for ourselves, to be independent, to, well, we go to school to become successful. We go to school to get a job, get a salary, and therefore we could continue living. And if your father and mother passes on, then you can go on. So that is the order of what's going on the planet, everywhere on the planet. And so my point is, how did Picasso become Picasso, Mozart become Mozart, Einstein become Einstein, and so forth? You see, if they followed the mainstream education and stuck to mainstream education, they wouldn't have been able to express themselves in the way they did. And so, think about this. Human beings, we all have something unique in us, a gift that is special. By the way, I have grandchildren, 2 grandchildren. They're twins, 1 boy, 1 girl. From the beginning, I see the boy, although twin, so different from his sister. And the sister is a detailed person, a calm, detailed person, and he is sort of a wild leader. He wants to tell somebody what to do, and she just wants to take care of the details, and she's so calm. So from the very beginning, even before they learn how to speak, we saw that there was a character difference. Amazing. And so my wish, because I realize it now, is to nurture them in their natural ability to become great based on their gift that they came with. Not to muffle it up, not to, cover it up with so-called mainstream education and then get them lose it and never find it again. But the truth is, mainstream education is important for us to coexist, not only in our country, but also in this universe, in this world. And so, where's that gift? How do you bring that out? So you may be 40 years old right now, you may be 15 years old right now, or 70 years old right now. You may not be totally satisfied with what you've done so far, how you have contributed to the world so far. You may not be even making a contribution because you're just working to make ends meet. Or maybe you're working and you're comfortable. You've got a car, maybe 2 houses and investments and so on. But every day is a chore. It's not a joy. You're not painting something. You're not creating something. You're just doing something. So my point is this. All of us, every one of us, every one of you watching this, you came into this world with a special gift. And that gift is hiding deep inside you, muffled by all these experiences that we were packed, we were stacked, we were padded with all our lives. Now it is time to take off those pads and then discover who you truly are. And that, I say, is your life purpose. Let me give you a little bit of a structure here. And then you realize what you need to do with NLP in order to position yourself to celebrate this life, okay? So this is a sort of a timeline, in a more wavy way. This is where you are right now, and that's where you want to go. So as human beings, even if you are 7 years old, some 7 years olds, maybe 1, 2, 10% of 7 years olds, they come into this world already knowing what they're going to do in this life. They know it already. So those people, those young people who already know where they're going, they will always be super successful in studies, in school, in life. But the rest of us, although it is there, but it's muffled. So we come to this world unaware. And so, vision is the first thing you want to think about. Vision. But the vision may not be so easy to do if you don't know what you're going to do in this life. What you're going to do in this life. Are you that artist? Are you that leader? What role are you going to play? Are you that athlete or that speaker, writer? Want to be a doctor, a caregiver, whatever it might be. There is that special gift that you came with. And so I call that life purpose. And I would like to write it down somewhere here. And this, most of us don't know what it is. That's the truth. Okay, I can't see you, but you know if I ask you a question, 99.9% of you say, I don't know what my life purpose is. I'm just doing whatever it is I'm doing right now. My father was a doctor. They told me to become a doctor. I'm a doctor. My mother was an engineer, so now I'm an engineer. That's how things are. My father didn't do well in school. I'm not doing well in school. So you see, that's life. But that's not how it's supposed to be. We all have a special gift and a life purpose need to be found. You and I need to know our life purpose. After 46 years of my life in the army, I came out, and through one NLP course, I realized that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I have my life purpose right now. Explain that later. So now, what's life purpose? It is the what you do. You're going to grow flowers. You're going to build computers, Steve Jobs, and so forth. The what. Life purpose is a what. Hear me. I'm teaching you NLP. That's my what. A computer expert, a computer maker will go and make that hardware or software. That's a what. So, what is your what? So if you know your what, then you could begin doing that. When you begin doing that, then probably you would feel, hey, look, I want to get up tomorrow morning and get going. I want to finish this because this is something close to me. I'm made for this. I am made for this. How about that? Have you ever felt that way before? Now that's what I was looking for a long, long time. I found it. And I want all of us, you, to find it so that you will have more Picassos, more scientists, more Einsteins in this world, and this world will be flying, you know, in the way it should. You think we have made progress? I don't think so. We're only a fraction of where we're supposed to be. Really. So each one of us have a significant contribution to make this world a better place, so that you don't have to go take it from somebody else, which is what's happening in this world right now. If somebody leaves a phone around, you're going to take it from, and you know, not many people would say, whose phone is this? You will just take it because nobody's there. So we need to evolve, you know, and to keep this, preserve this world, keep it safe for us and our children. There is a need for us to have this knowing. Not everybody looking in the same hole for the same goal. Okay? So that's life purpose. You got that? Right. Now that you know that I am here to build computers, let's say for example, what would be my vision? My vision would be, through my expertise, that is to build computers, I would make people happy. Okay? To serve them in a special way, to make computers and make them happy. In my way, in my field, I am now making you happy by making you aware of what your potential is. And also to take you from where you are to where you want to go. That's my speciality. And so this guy here, the computer expert, would have that vision to serve the world like Steve Jobs, like Bill Gates. Bill Gates wanted a PC in every home in the world. And now he's getting there. He's getting there. That was an awesome vision. And so we need to know what a vision is after knowing your life purpose. Most of us don't. Because maybe an organization has a vision, but you, what about you as a human being? You have a right to have a vision too. You may not have one. Somebody got to guide you there. So what's next? Between here and here, you have what we call long-term goals. And these are goals that may be of 5 and 10 years range. And then your short-term goals. This is from now to maybe 4 years. Something like that. And these goals, once you identify your life purpose, and you know how you're going to serve the world, your vision, these goals will be aligned with your life purpose and vision. You see, most of us have set goals and not achieved it. Most of us set goals, got excited in the beginning, and then not achieved it. Why? Because you realize you lost your steam. You lost your energy. You just thought that I don't think this is it. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to get up tomorrow morning for this. I don't feel it is me. Now that's a problem, isn't it? So there really is a need for us to know what our life purpose is. And then create a vision so that our goals are specific to these two things. And now we have a process for that, okay? So then when we talk about goals, I'll show it to you in the next chart. We have what we call the wheel of life. The wheel of life. And let me write it down. Wheel of life. Now in the wheel of life, normally there would be about 6 facets. I have 8 facets. Okay? Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. And this is my gift to you. 8 facets. In the 8 facets, we go in this way. First, we have career. And I put education as part of this facet. And which is probably the most important facet for us to get going in our life. Probably forever. I'm not sure. Some of us may shift to family at different phases of their life. When you're older, family becomes more important. That's the second facet. Third one is relationships. What's the difference between family and relationships? It is outside of the family, outside of the inner circle, every other human being. What's your relationship with every other human being? Very important. And next, we have health and fitness. Health and fitness is so important that, you see, the only thing that can affect us, inhibit us from achieving our life purpose and vision and goals is our body. If without this body, everything stops. And therefore, there is a need for us to understand how this body works. A doctor takes 6 years to master to become a doctor. We have a lifetime, and we leave our fate, our body, to the doctors. Why not study it ourselves? So that then you can understand the mechanics, how to work with it, and to stay healthy for life. Now that's my quest. So when you talk about health, it's not just nutrition and exercise. It's also mental health, something that nobody discusses. So we need to understand this and set goals in the right way, have the process to make sure you live a perfectly healthy lifestyle. And so the next facet here, I call it personal development. In short, personal development. Now this is something that we are doing right now. This is where I specialize, and this is necessary for us to even do this. And next, we call it leisure and fun. Leisure and fun. All work makes Jack a dull boy. So we need to celebrate. We need to visit this beautiful planet we're living in. There are so many things to see, so many things to experience, so many things to go into and come out of. It's amazing for our growth and our joy. Planet is fantastic. And therefore, there is a need for us to make a list. And within this lifetime, visit every nook and corner of this planet. That's right. And then we have what we call significant contribution. And if you read the book, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl's story, when you have something significant yet to do, you could escape certain death in the death camp. That's how Viktor Frankl got out of his certain death situation. And so we all need to understand what our significant contribution is. And if we did our vision, if you have a vision, this vision, more likely than not, would be your significant contribution. But if most of us haven't done a vision, then you don't know what significant contribution is. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are not too small for you to make a significant contribution for mankind in this world beyond your time. Think about that. It's not just left to those who are running the country. It's not just left to the Einsteins or Barack Obamas. No, every one of us, every child born in this world have that potential. And so do you. Believe in this. And there's a process for that. And the final one is spirituality. This is a complicated issue. There are two ways of looking at it. One is theological, and the other is scientific. I can explain both, but we want to approach it from a scientific point of view. How the universe exists, all the manifestation energies in the universe, how everything goes around, comes around, and such understanding is super important. But in gist, what spirituality is, for me, to find my true self. That's right. To find my true self as early as possible in my life so that I can live this life on this planet, get ready, as though it is heaven. That's right. Okay, to celebrate every moment as though this is heaven. So this is something that we need to understand, we need to create. And when we have created this, you would realize what is stopping you. Without this, then there's no need. No need NLP. You don't need NLP if you don't have anything to use it for. This is what you use it for. To create a life first, and then see what is stopping you. So I'll write that down. What's stopping you? Or me? Okay, what is stopping me? It's more of an exclamation than a question. So, when you have these problems, right? A lack of money, a lack of confidence, a lack of relationships, lack of love, lack of intelligence, lack of genius, lack of creativity. And if you're a procrastinator, how do you overcome that? All these are the problems that you will have when you have created that. Now that's when you realize the value of NLP. I'll explain that in the next video. See you again soon. Welcome back. In the earlier video, you realized that all of us have a right, and it's our birthright, to have our own vision, identify our life purpose, set goals, and live our lives having created our own masterpiece. Live our lives on our own terms. And that is something that all of us must do. And there is a whole huge process for that. But before we continue to talk more about what NLP has to give us, there was a process called logical levels that was created by Robert Dills in his collaboration with another luminary called Gregory Bateson. And so let me take you through that first, and then we'll discuss it. Okay? So we all need to understand that we exist at different levels. Now, what NLP does actually is to give us more structure in the way we live our lives. So with the structure, we can look at the context in which we are living our lives and then make a successful decision. Okay, a successful transition from where you are to where you want to go. So this is what we call logical levels. Logical levels, Robert Dills, remember that. And so there are 6 levels. The first level is what we call the environment. Environment. Think about this. We as human beings, we exist in 3 main environments on a daily basis in life. 3 basic environments. We don't normally think about it, but just look at that. One environment is your home. You're there almost every day. And the other environment could be your work or business, wherever you are. And the third environment could be play. That means you go to the park, you go to the shopping center, you spend your time. Spend your time relaxing, other than being at home and at work. So these are the 3 various environments that we traverse in within one day, within one lifetime. And each environment, we realize that there are constraints. Constraints. So as human beings, we succumb to the constraints. We don't overcome it. We fall for it. Oh, this room is too warm or too cold. The sun is too hot. Chair is not comfortable enough. This is a jungle. I can't live here. I got to get out there to civilization. So our environment can give us constraints and can affect us. But the truth is, we are human beings and we are flexible. And that flexibility would make us adapt to each of these environments and thrive. That is something that is missing, something that we need to understand. So environment, we say, is the where or when. Where and when you are in this place. Okay? Environment. Step number 2, we call it behavior. Behavior. Behavior is the how we would behave in each of these environments. You see the problem with you and I? I was in the army. I brought home the soldier. And it drove my family nuts. That was no good. You see, so we are all normally stuck in a certain behavior, and we aren't able to adapt and morph into all the various environments. That's a problem. causes relationship problems, health, whatever. So there is an appropriate behavior for each of these environments for us to be successful. Agree? That's right. But that needs to be learned. That need to be learned. That need to be adapted. You know, that you need to know that, okay, I'm here right now and I need to change. I need to shift my emotions from bad emotion to good emotion. And that's what we call capabilities. Capability and states. States of mind. And this states is what we call, what? What? Okay, what kind of states and capabilities would allow us to behave in a unique way in the various environments? You get the point? Right, the states, the emotional control, the thinking ability, the positive thinking ability, all that comes under this realm, this area, stage number 3 of the logical levels. And then we have beliefs and values, or let's call it values and beliefs. And this is the why. The why we need to have this kind of state, this kind of resources in order for us to behave in a certain way in all these environments. Values give us the rightness of our decisions, of our actions, and beliefs gives us the permission. Or permission. I can do this, the permission. So that's level number 4. Level number 5 is our identity and mission. Identity and mission. And this is the who am I? The who am I? Now the who, the identity, goes beyond your name and your role you play in your home or your company. It goes beyond that. That needs to be understood, and that's why it's so high up on the logical levels. These are stuff that you learn in advanced NLP courses. And then you have level number 6, which is vision and spirituality. This we say, who else? Who else? Who else am I? Oh, that is a higher level of thinking. A super high level of thinking. And all of us, you and I, even if you're 16 years old, you can figure this out. The thing is, we need somebody to guide us. And Robert, under the guidance of Gregory Bateson, have come up with this elegant process called logical levels. And let me take you through a little bit here. When someone says, I've got a bad memory, is it a capability or could it be a belief? That's right. You're thinking right. Now that I gave you the structure, you begin to think beyond that. Those words, I have a bad memory, is sort of a capability, but it could be a belief. I can't read. Now, reading is a skill, is a capability, but it might be a belief. And I can't quit smoking. I can't quit smoking. Now, is that a problem here? Is that a problem here? It could be an identity. It could be. So we need to learn how to discern where the person is coming from. And in NLP, the processes that we have processes to solve the environment problem, processes for each of these levels. But at the basic level of NLP, which I'm discussing right now in this video set, and maybe some advanced level too, we concentrate at this level here, 1 to 4 maybe, with a little bit of vision and so forth. But when you go into the higher levels, it is tipped this way. We touch on everything, but except that we focus on the higher levels. And when, ladies and gentlemen, when you can position yourself, when you can become aware of all these, and you can understand how to live on all these levels at one time, and when you look at a person, when the person says he's got a problem, you're listening to the words, but you're able to discern where on the logical levels the problem is, and if you know the process of how to help that person from that level, the person heals immediately. Because when you solve a problem at a higher level, everything at the bottom sorts itself out. That's right. And that is the capability of our mind. And specifically, our unconscious mind. In the next video, I'll explain to you about the mind, the interface between the mind and our body and our life. That's the next lesson. Stay excited. See you again. Welcome back. I trust you remember the logical levels, the 6 levels. And so now, going back